Alexis, how sweet was it to win back a fight against Sarah Kaufman?
It feels good. Like they say, third time's a charm. I feel really good after this fight and excited to get back out there.
Were you surprised with her armbar defense, given that Ronda Rousey is the champion of her division?
No. You know what? I know Sarah's a very strong fighter, and I think that was the best Sarah Kaufman that I've ever seen. And, just being able to listen to my corners and kind of play out the game plan, and things kind of worked out.
Can you just take us through the finish, what's going through your head, where Jaren seemed to be, he wasn't positioned properly, and what you're thinking during that moment? As you can see, she's tapping, but the official not seeing it.
I was going for the triangle initially because she got her arm under, then feeling her defense forward. But to be honest, my adrenaline was going so much in the middle of the fight, I wasn't sure if she was tapping or not. I was just trying to rely upon the ref. And, kind of, in the end, you kind of feel bad that, hope everything's good, she's healthy, and, but looking for the victory.
Did you feel personally like, you needed to get this win to remind, the MMA world that you're more than just that loss to Ronda?
No. I need the win for myself, just to, I haven't had a strong finish in a while, and kind of just being able to listen and fight like I should be fighting. I think I'm a better fighter than I've been showing that I really am.
You have the second most wins in this weight class behind Ronda. Where do you think that kind of puts you? Do you think you're a few more wins away from getting a title shot, or do you feel like you want another top contender fight next? Where do you think you fit in this weight class right now?
I feel like this was definitely a strong win, and it should push me high in the division, but, I think they'll have me fight another top contender, and, it just gives me more time to, this was a good fight for me, and really finding my own, especially in the UFC, this is where every woman or every man wants to be, so I'm willing to do whatever the UFC feels I'm ready for.
With so many women entering the division as of late, do you feel like there's a target on your back as people try to prove that they can take on Ronda Rousey by beating Alexis Davis?
I hope so. I hope there's a target on my back, because if there wasn't, then I wouldn't be one of the top females in the division.
There were 5 Canadian women on this card.
We're all fighting Canadians.
Pretty much, well, except for Randa.
Yeah.
But, there was a time when, there was really only you and Sarah. What is this? Do you take pride in seeing, 5 Canadian women on a card?
I do, and I take a lot of pride being the first Canadian woman to be signed with the UFC, and it's great to see how much this sport has grown in Canada, and, we're getting more events where there's more venues that are being able to hold these events, and I think it's just the more exposure, the more women that you're going to see lined up, all over the world.
In your game, what has grown the most, that's giving you the most pride? Your recent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt or anything else?
I think putting everything together as a whole, especially I found for this fight, wanting to stay level-headed and just, work on key positions, being able to listen instead of, where I played a lot, where I was in the moment, I'm just going to go in there and bang. And it doesn't matter what else anybody else is saying, I'm just going to go in there and fight how I want to fight. And now, I hope to say I'm a little bit smarter.
Any key differences that you found in Sarah's game from the fight from 3 years ago? Just any certain differences you found, whether improvements she's made or regressions?
Oh, like I said, this was like a Sarah Kaufman I'd never seen before. She put a lot more tools out there than I expected. I expect her to come out mainly hands, but she was throwing her kicks, her front kicks, keeping the space and taking those key shots. So, yeah, it was a very tough fight, and tougher than I thought it was going to be. I expected to get punched a lot, but I didn't expect, as many strong kicks that she was going to have.
I have to imagine kind of rewarding that you feel you beat the best Sarah Kaufman when you finally do get this victory.
It really does. It's, because I don't want to Canadian, I don't want to come off too cocky, but it feels really great for me because to be able to beat Sarah, because I feel like I'm like, wow, that was, I've never seen Sarah fight that strong and have so many tools, so I'm really proud of myself.
One of Sarah's teammates, Holm, is entering the division with a lot of hype on her and a lot of expectation. Is that someone you'd like to see soon in opposite the cage from you?
Yeah, if the time comes, really, I know there's a lot of things lined up, but, wanting to fight one of those top contenders, I'd love to have, obviously she's got Jessica Eye in her sights right now, to have an opportunity to fight Miesha Tate, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, so we'll have to see what comes out.
Can you talk about the finish that you were able to get, especially in light of the fact in the rematch in the third round, you were able to take her back, get some dominant positions, and weren't able to finish and ultimately lost a majority decision. How important was that third round, kind of getting close but still being so far away from the win going into this third fight?
Yeah, you know what? That was last time I fought Sarah was the last fight I had at my old camp, and wanted to have a lot of improvements to showcase this time around. And that was something I really wanted to do, was obviously take the ground, because the third round in the last fight, there was some opportunities I had, and I just didn't kind of follow through with my takedowns that I kind of missed, I feel like. But the second round I was able to, kind of come to my senses, start listening to my corners, and take that opportunity where I should have before.
Was there anything specific or technical when you got her down to cheat full mount that you thought of in reference to training camp, or thinking, well, I didn't do this last time in round 3 when we fought, I have to do it this time? Is there anything directly related to what you didn't do last time around that you did this time that you think helped you prevail?
Actually, no. I was just trying to go with my senses and listen to my corners. Just kind of try to go back into my jiu-jitsu background. Nothing that I worked specifically for this fight, just, listen to my great corners. So I was able to get that submission.
Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.